Good evening, everyone. It's Shelley Johns here from Gympie, and this is our Monday night call, which is all about retailing and finding, healthy, happy clients that want to be on Herbalife for long term. Okay, so that's what we're going to be covering. So make sure you've got a notebook and pen handy, and you've got a cup of Herbie beverage. And first, we're going to start with some good news. So, did you have some good news to share, Lindy?
Well, not in the way of getting customers as such, but now I've sort of people, when I'm going for my walks, people are more receptive and waving. And then when I go to the shops, it was really funny. I heard someone say, "Oh, you know how that's like the Herbalife lady." So I went to turn around and look at it and went, "Oh, they left." But I thought that I sort of, years ago, ding dong, it's Avon. Well, I think ding dong, it's Lindy. So that's what I'm going for. But so people are starting to recognise me, and that's a good thing.
Absolutely, and you want people to know that you're the person to go to for Herbalife nutrition and just energy and weight loss, so they get to know who you are, which is really cool. What about you, Irene? Did you have some good news to share?
Absolutely. This morning, a long-standing client called. She started with me 25 years ago.
Wow.
And has continued to use the products regularly all of that time. And she just loves, especially the tea, but she uses also most of the products, and she orders online now, and we just talk more as a friendship rather than a follow-up. I do ask how she is and all of that, but after 25 years, I've seen her children grow up, get married, and have children, and I think that's the beauty of Herbalife. It's an ongoing retail, wholesale type of business,
yep.
And you can meet wonderful people just through doing your business on a daily basis.
Excellent. That's good. Thank you, Irene. This morning we had Fit Club, so I went down and had Emily, who's doing really well. She's just started on some products and she's joining the challenge, and she's been coming to Fit Club and doing a great job. So she brought someone with her, one of her friends, who lives in the same estate as us. So that was her second time coming. And I've just given her a Herbalife information pack to go and read. And then I've told her about the challenge, and she's coming back to Fit Club, which is great. And she's having the shakes after the workout. So, she's definitely a good addition to the group. And, I'm looking forward to, helping her. And it's interesting because Linda, who hasn't been to Fit Club yet, but I think that she's coming with her friend Wednesday night, she must have seen me off Facebook. I think she Googled free body scans, and my name came up, so she contacted me and came and had one. Then she brought her friend Bree, and then Bree invited Alan, who's partners Emily, and now Emily's got Natasha. So it's actually referral, and then you can see how those lines can happen. So I showed them actually how it could all work. None of them all signed up yet, so they're all buying retail. So I'm sort of excited that when the first person does get started, they can see that something could happen underneath them, even though they might not be thinking that way yet, but you can sometimes see more than what they can. So that was my good news for today.
Good.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, which is really cool. So there's always something happening. So today we're going to cover the art of retailing and just some real basics that we were all taught when we first got started. So I just thought I'd put my results up. So I'm a bit excited because next month, of course, is my 28th anniversary. I also turned 48. So I'm going to do a whole new bunch of results and on healthy aging, obviously, and the sort of results you can get with your skin and weight loss and just being healthy and happy. So I want to roll that out next month, which will be really cool. So make sure you always get lots of before and after photos of your customers, because even if they're not thinking of doing the business down the track, you can still put them side by side and show them their progress. Or when they do want to do the business, they've got a great before and after.
It looks so different. It's really hard to think it's you. It's amazing.
This one here, I was so tired. I think I was like sleep deprived for 3 years. I had dark hair as well. Like I've gone a bit blondie at the moment.
Yeah.
So, which is cool. Okay, so let's go on. So we want to have a look at, hi Lydia, how are you? Happy birthday for last week. So I just wanted to look at a week in the life of a wellness coach. So we know that most people that get started in the business, they probably start doing Herbalife part-time. You're probably looking at least 80% of people doing it part-time. And, you know, they've got other things. They've got family, they might be studying, they might be working, they might have other interests and things like sport and hobbies. So they've got to fit the business around what they're doing. So giving them a weekly schedule like this, and there's plenty of blank ones available. I've just handwritten one because I find I like using colours. But you want to include everything, and you want to show them how to map out Monday to Sunday. You know, they might do Herbalife 3 days a week, they might be doing it 5 days a week, whatever it is. And you need to show them how to fit their Herbalife business, which includes time for the family, time for, you know, being more active, flyers or whatever their methods they've chosen, times when they're doing follow-up and computer things, again, time for family, and, you know, making sure they're doing their personal development. This is important too, so that they've got this very balanced business and that the whole family knows what they're doing and got them on board. So I've got this up where everyone can see it, so that everyone knows what my schedule is. There's no surprises. And I've got a fairly set schedule now too, even though it's totally flexible. It's a set schedule. So generally anyone that knows me knows the times that I'm busy. Okay, so make sure you fill one of these out for yourself, but you help your new people do the same thing. It's so important. Irene, did you have any tips for filling this out?
I think probably if you're working as a couple, which is a lot of people do eventually, I think that you have to include in there that your business partner, your husband or your partner, also is in sort of, you do one together rather than separately.
Yep.
Also to divide up the activities. So for example, with us, flyers now would be con. But one of the tips I would say is that if you're just doing it on your own, you know, when you're doing your Herbalife business, do your Herbalife business. And when you're doing your children, do your children. Don't mix it up, because what happens is you'll get frustrated and the children will say, oh, Herbalife is always taking you away, Mom. Yeah. And I had to learn that the hard way. And so having this will give you, will keep you on track, but you have to have it in your head as well. When you're doing Herbalife, you were focused 100%. When you're doing your children or whatever it is, you know, keep your focus each way. I think that's really important, especially when you have young children like you have, Sherry.
Yeah, yes. And I think here too, like you've got obviously events on the Saturday, so they might not be every weekend, but the times when you're going to have events, and like, for example, your spectacular extravaganza, it might take a whole weekend or more. Your fit clubs, shape parties, time, you know, any sort of event you've got, make sure it's in here as well. But I think that's a really good tip, Irene, is to make sure, you know, as Jim Rohn says, wherever you are, be there and try and be 100%. It's not always, doesn't always work perfectly, of course. Sometimes these things happen, but yeah, we just try and do the best we can. And obviously learning from other people's experiences is the best way to go. It gives you the fastest learning curve and the fastest way to grow.
Right, that's right.
So cool. So make sure if you haven't got a copy of this, make sure you get a copy from your mentor. So the first step to retailing is how to generate, which means how to generate inquiries and get people coming to you, get people contacting and calling or messaging. I had an inquiry about Fit Club today, like this afternoon, and that actually came about, someone posted about fitness in the area and someone tagged me on the post. So I just personally messaged them and said, hey, here's my website. Come along if you want to. This is what it is. It's totally child friendly. You can bring your baby and just turn up, and your first session's free. So because obviously they pay $5 for the recovery nutrition. So that's how I messaged her, and she said thank you, and I said you're most welcome. And so that's basically how I got it. And I can see she's liked the Fit Club page as well, which is great. So she may come, she may not, but at least it's an inquiry. So you really want to work on your own product result, because remember, people buy you first. They don't know, you know, some people don't know Herbalife Nutrition, and to them it's a company or product. But when they're looking at you, they're buying your attitude and whether you click and relate to each other. And it's okay if you find people that don't. You're not going to get everybody, and that's totally okay. But the ones that are meant to be with you will come to you. And you want to be all in. You want to be committed. You want to know your income goal, you know, approximately short-term and long-term. And you want to know the retail menu, which I'll go through in a minute. So the menu is all the different ways that you can generate inquiries, and there's so much. And yes, there's some that cost money, and there's some that's free, there's some that takes time, and there's some that's really time efficient. You've got to choose the ones that suit you, and you really want to choose at least 4 and not just one. And you've heard me say this before, because if you only choose one main method and that doesn't happen for the week, you haven't built your business. At the end of the day, you get paid to talk to people, so you have to put yourself in a situation where you're going to be able to talk to people. Okay, so you want to know exactly how to do each method, and you want to use proven advertising. So definitely talk to someone that's doing what you're doing, the method that you want to do, and copy it exactly. It's just like a recipe. If you change the recipe, you're going to get a different result. Okay, just like baking a cake. And you want to know how many of each method you need to do to get that result. And if you're trialing all new stuff, you're not going to know that, so you don't even know if it's going to work. You put all your time and energy and money into that, and it doesn't get the result you want. But you can actually speak to someone that goes, yeah, this flyer here, if I do 500, I get between 1 and 4 calls, and probably every 4 to 6 people I speak to, I get 1 client, something like that. So if you know that's a good stat with what they're doing, you want to copy that. Okay, but just prepared that it takes work. You need to build momentum, and building momentum, it's not like a job. Doing your business takes time and energy, and especially at the start, you probably need to put in more time than what you get paid for, and then it flips over. Okay, so Irene knows all about this. But sometimes you put a lot of effort in, but then eventually it changes, and the more consistent you are, the better results you get. So did you have any extra things to add to that, Irene?
I did, but I've forgotten. What I want to say. Yes, I know. If you're in a situation where you need to earn or to get more cash flow going, I think that you have to do more than just 4 methods, because you want to increase the speed. You need to do more, because as they say, if you want to get more, you have to do more, and you need to attract and put out more. And the other thing that was told to me when I started, and that is, this is just a statistic, but Jan McBacken actually told me that you need to put the same flyer in the same letterbox 7 times before somebody will actually call or respond or react to it. So you don't have to go further afield. You just have to keep doing a certain area for yourself that's viable time-wise, and keep doing it. And remember, 7 times that flyer goes, and it has to be the same flyer, she said. So that's what we did.
That's a really good tip, and I've had that experience too, where I've done it over and over and over again, and then finally, because you don't know, the first time it might have gone in the bin, the second time the husband might have got it and not been interested and just got wherever. Then it might have taken time. Someone's moved in there, someone's moved out there. There's like all these different scenarios that happen. But yet, the more you go back again, this is why I still like doing walk and talks to the same businesses, because guess what? Eventually, get to know who you are, and you're building that relationship and rapport. So, and they must go, wow, these guys must be doing really well. They're still doing their flyers, and I know flyers don't get done as consistently as they should, because I know I've been living here in Gympie. So the first place I lived in for 5 years, I think I got 2 flyers in my letterbox in all that time, and I haven't had any. We've only been here not a year yet, but in April it'll be a year, and yeah, I haven't received any Herbalife flyers at all. So and I know that I could be doing them a lot more consistently too. So yes, so flyers are definitely one way, and you should always have some on you. So I've always got a little Ziploc bag with flyers in it. Like I've got to go to Bundaberg tomorrow, so I know as we're driving along, stopping at service stations or anything else, that I've always got them on me. So if someone asks me off my button, because I'll definitely be branded and wearing my button, and take advantage of every opportunity. Will I be messaging clients on the way and making use of that time? Absolutely. And trying to maybe do a little bit more advertising. Yep. Anything that I can do to make use of that time is really, really important. But make sure, yes, I think if you can do more than 4 methods, great, but just do them as many as you can and as consistent as you can. And I've got some really good gauge keeping info up here as well. So these are some of the DMOs, so daily methods of operation, in your menu. So you could do free smoothie invites, practice wellness evaluations with people, ask that you need some help practicing, or just ask to do wellness evaluations, flyers, flyer displays, emails and textings. And texting is really popular now. Like before, maybe 10 years ago or 5 years ago, texting it was frowned upon. Like, you should call the person, pick up the phone and call them. But some people prefer to be texted these days because it's an inconvenience for them to get a phone call. So a lot of my follow-up and that is actually done through texting now because people like it, and I can put some personality into it. I can add a little quote. I can, do things like that and really personalize it if I want to. So I never do bulk SMSs and emails. I always personalize it. I think it's worth doing it, unless you can set up an email system that has, where it can personalize their name. I'm sure there's something like that you can do. I have been noticing a lot of people that do their constant emails is that sometimes, again, just like the flyer in the letterbox, you may need to email someone 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 times before they're receptive. So don't be afraid to keep that relationship up through emailing, because if they don't want to deal with you anymore, they can block your number or they can block your email. So
can I also say, Shelley, when it comes to emails, like particularly if some of the people are working part-time, I think it's really important to put, hey, if you don't respond straight away, you get the automated message. It comes back, it says, you can get me between these days and these times.
Yep.
At least, someone knows, okay, they're the only days I can get them or not. Because, if you've got a lot of shift workers, you may not necessarily want to be responding at 2 a.m. So having the automated messages for some of the business emails works well too.
Absolutely. Just give me 2 seconds. With Jan's having trouble getting on. I don't know why it's not doing its thing, but I'm just going to, copy this for Jan.
I had to go back to the previous link that you put up for the beginning of the year because it wouldn't take the current one you had up either. So whether there's a little glitch there, I don't know.
I don't know. Did you have trouble getting on, Irene?
Yes, I went back to the old one.
Was that the 589340?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I've just sent that to Jan, so hopefully she can get on. Yes, so different ways of emailing, and it's okay if someone blocks you or doesn't want to, unfriends you. Don't worry about it, because it just means that they're not going your way, and it's okay. Don't take it personally. And you just go, oh great, they've screened themselves out. They've it's self-selection. Let them do that, and it's totally fine, because now maybe down the track they might be receptive because you don't know what they're going through. So, and the good thing about emailing is Herbalife's made it so easy. They've got the customer newsletters that come out every month. We don't even have to come up with one anymore. It's so good. But just keep sharing stories, before and afters, written testimonials, anything like that, because I was always told where information goes and results go, product flows. So keep sharing results and have them on hand. Using products in public works really well, so make sure your bottles, you can see through them, because it, definitely when you've got a big bottle of brown liquid, someone's going to ask, or a bottle of aloe or something like that. Have some fun with it as well, using products in public. And you've got to do everything you can. And I know, Irene, you and kind of moved into a similar sort of area, like we have, probably similar to Lydia as well, where we're in the country and we're not in the city environment, or a fairly large town where it's quite rural and lots spread out. So you've got to make the most of every opportunity. So always take a bottle with you, and even if it's branded too, you're still getting the name out there. Obviously, branding your car and clothing, that's really easy to do. There's really nice clothing with lots on sale at the moment on the My Herbalife website, and your car as well, because it's parked there. I know some people that used to put like a plastic pocket with before and after results, and little cards they could take and just have them in the window hanging down, so when people were on either side they would see it as well. It's like you just do whatever you can, like let things work for you while you're out doing other things. Posters and pull tabs, keep with notice boards, shop counters, shop windows where they'll let you do that. Look, if it's really a messy notice board where you can't see anything, sometimes I'll just kind of rearrange it and make mine look neat, and I'll do those sort of things. Or I might go, look, I'm not going to have anything that's seen, I'll just wait and come back. But just keep an eye out where all your notice boards are. You can make a list of that. In services, I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means? No, I don't know. So circle of influence, obviously people and look, it's not about selling and recruiting all your friends and family, even though they probably need it. It's letting them know what you do and say, hey, do you know anyone that I could help? Or, if you hear of someone that's maybe wanting to lose weight, or that just wanted to work on their health, could you let them know that I could help them? And referrals, give incentives, referrals. Let people you love referrals. So I know, like I'm pretty sure that Emily invited Natasha because I said, if, you know, or actually we came up with this new campaign that if you bring someone, you train for free. So I thought that was really cool too. So you can give it different incentives to getting people to come to your events or onto programs. Wearing the button, of course, that's you don't have to even mention that one, but you know, sometimes people feel a bit self-conscious wearing the Lose Weight Now, Ask Me How. There's I've Lost Over, which I really like, but you know, you need to wear it because people will ask. And I remember Merv saying when he used to have these really expensive suits and he'd have all the buttons on, and someone would go, why are you putting that in, you know, putting a hole in your suit? He said, well, this button will make sure that I can buy as many of these suits as I like. But I don't care about the hole because this actually button is why I can afford this suit. So I really liked his attitude. Sampling, I think, works really well. I've actually got some really good clients from just, I often will keep my bottles and put a few teaspoons of instant herbal beverage in the different flavors, or just the girls came over, got their results done, Brie and Belinda, and I gave them some mint choc to try. So if you just keep giving samples, it's a really good way of upgrading and getting people interested in other products. So look, if you're just starting out and you can't afford that, doesn't matter. Whatever you can do, okay? Surveys are great too because, yeah, it's a great way of just asking questions. So there's lots of different lifestyle and recruiting surveys and nutrition surveys out there. Newspaper ads are probably not as effective. I think internet is definitely the way to go getting the response, but you need to know what you're doing as well. And there's plenty. If you just type in how to blah, blah, blah. I listen to a lot of Gary Vee on to do with internet advertising, and yes, he does swear a lot, but if you just remove that part and just purely listen to his information, I think you'll get a lot out of it on how to do more with the internet. And again, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of those things, just make sure you're following the social media guidelines and not doing, because remember, we've got to protect the golden goose and we want Herbalife to be around for forever, so we need to make sure we do the right thing. Otherwise, Herbalife will just cover some advertising on these things, and we don't want that, okay? So make sure that you're not putting prices and health claims and anything like that. Just there's actually a social media guideline that you can look up, and I would definitely suggest doing that. Obviously, this is just some examples of flyers and things like that, but there's lots and lots of other ways of generating inquiry. So, Irene, did you have anything to add to that?
No, I didn't. I just saw a little thing at the window. That's why I jumped up. Sorry about that.
As in a mouse?
I will say one thing about newspaper ads. We get, because we're so rural, we get a small newspaper, and there's a lot of ads in there. So obviously people are still reading these local papers.
Yeah.
Maybe the big, you know, papers like we had in Sydney Morning Herald and that sort of thing, maybe not. But in the little local, where you're reading about what's going on in your community, that still could be quite viable.
Yep.
You know, that's just one thing I just felt, you know, might be an idea. And because everybody thinks it's passé, you might just have a little unique corner there for yourself.
Yeah, I've got 3 little publications in this area, and they're like $36 for the whole year to advertise each month. So they're sort of affordable, set and forget. You can put them in and they just work, and you could just put independent Herbalife nutrition member, something like that as well, and people that are looking for Herbalife can contact you. Lydia, did you have anything else to add about the DMOs?
Sorry?
Just waiting for Lydia.
Hey, Shelley.
Hello, happy birthday.
Yeah, not really.
Happy birthday!
Oh, yes, thank you. I'm getting older. But yeah, no, not really. I find, or what I have found probably the last few months, it's getting really hard to advertise on Facebook as such in the groups with Herbalife Nutrition. I've had, you know, 3 or 4 in the last fortnight, you know, that it didn't meet specification. Oh, what am I trying to say here? Like
I know what you mean.
it didn't meet the requirements. So yeah, and it never used to be a problem, and a lot of my work used to come from that. So I'm with 18 there. I think I might just go back to, you know, the $2 book that you used to buy each month, Sell, Swap and Buy. It used to be a book way before the internet took off with Facebook. And I don't know why I've never gotten back to it, because like the strike rate in that was pretty good in the local area. So, and it was for free. So that's something that I'll be looking at, because I just can't get out there with Facebook in my local area at the moment.
Yep. And so that's a good idea. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely use what's working. So if you know something works, stick with that. And also the other one I know Gary Vee was talking about was doing paid sponsored posts. So, but having a set budget and then getting the demographics of who you want to target in your area, being quite specific. And that was another way of doing it as well.
Yep.
A paid sponsored post, is that through Facebook or something? I don't know.
Yeah, so you can pay. So you go, and at the moment it's fairly cheap to do it. It's only going to get more expensive. So at the moment, if you do a paid sponsored post, and I did it for the goal setting workshop, and it was quite successful. I only used a $50 budget because I didn't want to do more than that. Yeah. So you could set a certain budget and just have that again as something that you so all you need to do is type in how to do Facebook paid advertising or sponsored posts or those sort of things, and it'll come up and walk you through how to do it. But also look up Gary Vaynerchuk as well. Like I said, to be where he does swear, but he's very good.
Because that's interesting, because you talked about him last time and you said something about LinkedIn, and LinkedIn I've just had in one of the previous businesses, and I never had really thought too much about it. So then I added in some extra personal stuff, and it's surprising. I actually got quite a few hits, and I've never really used it much. I don't know. It's just another extra medium, you got to balance it all out. But that was very interesting responses.
Yeah, well, Gary Vee said it was kind of quite outdated, but of course they knew that this is what's happened. A lot of these companies and apps move with the times. Yeah. Because they, so they've actually, it looks a lot more like Facebook really. So, and a different demographic will use it. So it might be a different, 30-year-olds upwards. I know Facebook's kind of, 20, 30-year-olds, what they might put as the demographics, and Twitter's younger, and all these different demographics. So that way you can actually cover all bases. And he said most of it you can do for free. So LinkedIn you can use for free. Yes, you can pay, but he said you can do it for free. Do that first. So what I did, Lydia, just so you know, is I actually have a few. I've got the Mary Valley Community Group. So you can actually create your own group, and you're the admin on it, and you can put whatever advertising you want on it. So you're going to have to be patient and build up the numbers, obviously, of your own buy, sell, swap group or community events group or info group for that area, and put it out there. You could even do it for Rocky, because I've got a great thing, and you can actually create your own group for people to join. I mean, if I look at Gympie's very rich in groups. It's got like 25 to 30. Sure, I can't advertise on most of them. There's so many buy, sell, swap groups, probably 15 or more in Gympie. And some are little with, a couple of hundred people, and others have got thousands. I think the biggest one, which I definitely can't advertise on, which I'd love, is 37,000. But you could start your own group, and then you can advertise on it. So
there you go. That's a solution.
And you just got to be patient and build up the numbers. I know the Mary Valley one's now got over 500, which is great. I know Gympie Fit Club, which is a page, has got 600 and something. I could probably use them better than what I do. I've probably got too many pages and groups, in fact. But that's definitely a solution that I would go for in your local area. Just type in Facebook, but Billa Wheeler, buy, sell, swap, see how many come up, or what sort of groups come up. Billa Wheeler business, Billa Wheeler community, and see what comes up, so that you can see where the gap is, and then you can add it in.
Yeah, maybe it might be something in the area, like under a headline under fitness sort of thing.
Yep.
With all the gyms and all that sort of thing. I think I have seen that in the past. As in over general, but anything to do with healthiness, nutrition, exercise sort of thing.
So if you see there's something you could create, then you can advertise, because you're the admin.
I'm going to sound a bit silly here, but when you say the buy, swap, sell, is that again a different group on Facebook, or?
Yeah, so these are just if you wanted to sell something on there, so anything you don't need anymore, obviously you post it, and you can sell on there, which is great. So it's a great way of getting rid of things you don't need anymore. But a lot of them won't let you advertise businesses. Like I know the Gympie Jobs one here only lets me do my business advertising every Wednesday. So in my book I've got do posts for looking for wellness coaches, or so I change it around. but I know every Wednesday I can do that. So you can go looking, and the best thing to do, I can tell you right now, especially when it comes to Facebook, go in, message the admin, hey, such and such, I'm the local Herbalife person. Try and get a rapport with them. Some are going to be flat out, no, don't worry about it. Hey, no worries, thank you very much. Just thought I would ask. Have a great day. The ones that say, yep, so I'll say thank you. I know in Maryborough I got some people, admins that were quite happy for me to put some stuff on there.
Yeah, I've actually done that, Shelley. I inboxed a few in Gladstone last week, and before I even advertised and said, you know, who I was and in the local area, and I didn't want to upset anybody, and the rules weren't clear to me. So if you could just fill me in, if I can advertise on your page. But yeah, I haven't got any replies to that yet.
Yes, and that will happen too. Sometimes they won't reply. They're either not as active on there. So, but it doesn't hurt to ask, and I think it's good to build up relationships. It's all about relationship building. So how many times I said in the big Gympie Buy Sell Swap group, and not that I'm trying to turn it into a social media training, but you know, where people just post and then it gets deleted anyway because I know what they're like, and but they haven't asked. So you just need to keep that rapport up, develop good relationships in your local area with the groups and the admins. You know, even message the admin, say, hey, you know, I noticed you're in my town, you know, same area. Would you like to come in for a free, you know, wellness evaluation? Just so you know, meet up with me, you know, whatever you got to do.
Yeah, I know, and they're hard to get a reply or an answer or two where you went wrong with the advertisements, because I have seen, you know, Thrive, that must be a new product as well, you know, and weight loss before and after photos. And I've noted down the words and written down the word myself to their advertisement and tried to go underneath what they've been allowed to do, but mine just keep getting deleted. And I keep thinking, well, what, you know, that's why I wanted to make contact with some of the admins in the local area to say, well, what part of my ad isn't appropriate, you know? You know, because I've seen them come through before, because I see all the hits and I think, oh, how did they get through, you know?
Yeah. So I guess it's sometimes they've just slipped in without someone saying, and then eventually gets deleted. Number two, they might know the admin. So there's a few other things like that can happen, unfortunately. But I would just keep trying. You know, you've got a good, you know, you've got Billawheeler, you've got Rocky, a lot of the other surrounding towns, including Gladstone. So you could just have a book, write all the ones you're doing, and then just systematically go through and find the ones that you can advertise in.
Yeah, yep. Thanks, Shelley.
Cool. So, yeah, so social media could be sometimes a little bit like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I think it might be a good training call to go over with everyone as well, get everyone clear on the etiquette and what to do, and some little tips of getting around problems and roadblocks. So we can do that as well. So once someone inquires of your advertising, then you have to know what to say. And I remember when I first got started, I was very shy and a bit scared, and it took me like 2 weeks to call people back, and guess what? They weren't interested anymore. Surprise. And I did all that work to get the call, and then I wouldn't call them straight back. I was too scared. But of course, eventually I got over myself and started doing it, made some mistakes, stumbled over the script. So you really want to use a script because it helps you to work out what to say. You don't have to use the exact words. You can make it sound more like you. And you want to practice the script as well. Merv always said, practice the script in front of a mirror, stand up. Gary always said, you stand up, and he said, most people don't pick up on all of your enthusiasm, so you've got to be a little bit more over the top. So now I know he was always like that when we'd call him. And you want to have the 5 questions, which I'll go through in a second. Everything's in your career manual. And also you want to know how to package your story. So you want to know how to share your story in the most powerful way. And I know we've gone through a packaging story call before in training. So you just want to, time frames an advantage you can use it. I know they say not to use time frame, but it could be how long you've been using the products for, how long you've maintained for, and just pick out the most powerful things in the story using the truth so you can package it. Okay, and because you might not have a lot of time to share your story, it might be just in line, you might have just bumped into someone and they're saying how amazing you're looking, or you might be at a barbecue and you can kind of elaborate over a period of time if the person keeps talking to you. So make sure you know how to package your story, and you teach your team how to package their story. So that the information's in your career manual as well. You might want to do some practice calls and role plays with your friends and family, or your coach and mentors. It's a great way. It's interesting. I always found my team really scared to do practice calls with me, but I think it's the best way to bring out the best in them, because you can be a really easy customer and then you can be a difficult customer, because you need them to be able to handle both and not freak out when they get someone that's maybe a little bit difficult. before you talk, make sure your attitude's right. So obviously before I got on the call tonight, because I was frustrated with Facebook blocking me from adding people to groups for some reason, and I couldn't figure out why, like what I did, because I haven't done anything different. And so I had quite a bad attitude. So I made a nice big herby beverage and got into solution orientated, and I'm back focused again, which is great. You might want to tape yourself as well, because it's a great way of when you, and so most people don't like to tape themselves. You can just do like a video recording on your phone and then play it back, because you might be going, you don't want to do that. You want to kind of flow if you can. You might have just said something you shouldn't have said. If you're videoing yourself, you can check your body language as well. So you want to make sure that you're doing absolutely everything you can to get the best result. And there's lots of books on improving your confidence and how to sell and how to, body language and words to use and all that sort of thing. And then you want to book a evaluation. So what was that, Lydia?
I was just going to say, I'm looking at Lindy there, and I think these are the best invention. It just, like you said, I think standing up, using this, you're sort of telling more of a story, you're getting into it, your hands are all free. I know this is basic information here, but for the new person,
yep.
I just think it's more relaxing.
Mm-hmm. Sorry,
and you've got all your
sign language I do with the kids so that I don't have to go, hey.
Yeah, well, this is what I mean. How much does that tell a story, though, when, you feel like you're getting into it, rather than doing this and they say, well, how much is this going to cost? And you sort of got your hands going here and your calculator. I think if you're more relaxed and calmer, and you've got your hands free, I think that's a big start. And you can walk around and breathe. Like I just pace up and down the veranda as I tell a story, and I don't sit in the one spot until we get back to the nitty-gritty. But yeah, just for the new people, I think they're the best inventions, just to take the pressure off a bit and feel like you've got control.
Absolutely. And once you've done that phone call, look, most of us are in country areas, so we can't always see the person in, face to face that we're helping. So we've got to get good at both. We've got face to face help, and also people over the phone or on Zoom or however you're helping them. So you need to be able to do both, which also means then that you're also selling the product over the phone, not necessarily them coming to your house or office and them taking the product from you. So you have to be able to do all of it and get good at doing all of it. Australia's a big country, plus we've got overseas. So you need to just be adaptable and flexible. And definitely at the end, you need to ask for a decision, okay? Because we're not asking, it might be, how would you like to pay for that? Or what flavor would you like? When did you want to get started? You have to ask for a decision, because they've called you for a reason. You need to find out, are they a yes or a no? You don't want maybes. If it's a maybe, then you're wondering, did they want to do it, or should I call them? Or all of a sudden you're wasting all this time and energy, and it's okay if they say no. Okay? So
people are looking for strength in you.
Yeah.
That's it. They're wanting to, they're wanting help on a decision, and if you're strong enough yourself, they're looking for a leader. So be confident. And
you're going to get more no's than yeses. So every no brings you closer to a yes, and you get paid for the no's anyway. We're always told if you have 10 people you speak to, and let's say 2 say yes and 8 say no, and you're getting paid $100 for those 2 people say yes, just on average, then you're really getting paid $10 for each decision. So you're still getting paid for a no, and you still get paid for the yeses, because they all combine together. So you've got to have that attitude that it's okay for someone to say no. It gets getting closer to a yes. Sometimes you get all the yeses at the start and then all no's. Sometimes you might get no, and then finally you get a yes. But you've got to keep doing that thing with your mind and doing your personal development. Go, it's okay. The right person, the perfect person's coming. I know doing flyers, I'd always do, this person's an ultimate person. This is going to be my next long-term client. This is going to be my presence team. And, putting that energy out there when you're doing it, because you go out going, oh, no one's going to call. It's a horrible day. It's so hot. No one's Yes. So you need to put your attitude and energy onto that flyer and send it out. So, and again, if you're paying someone to do flyers, make sure they've got a good attitude. In fact, if they're your customer, that's always good too. So there's lots of different things you can do. And one of my ideas, which I still need to implement, was asking my customers, like giving them 50 or 100 flyers to do, and asking them to do their streets around their house for me. And then I'd put them into a drawer where they could maybe win you know, a Herbie merchandise product, or maybe, you know, like a bottle or something, or maybe I could just give them like $5 off their order or something like that. So that might be something you could do if you've got any customers you've got. Do you want to add something, Lydia?
No, I'm just turning the volume down for my kids.
Sorry. That's all right. They're not that loud. They're okay. So these are the questions that we're always taught to say is, are you seriously interested in losing weight? Because you want to make sure they're serious. How much would you like to lose? Okay. And this is where you can choose results and make sure you know your result, but also one that's going to relate to them as well. Like 5 kilo, a 10 kilo, a 15, a 20, a 50, so that you can always show them, or just show them some before and afters. I know Jennifer's really strong on this. What have you tried before? This is really good, and why didn't it work? These things are great because when they say it doesn't work, I was always hungry, I got sick of the same thing, I didn't have any energy. You can come back with all the things that, you know, all the benefits from Herbalife that are going to help them. And why do you want to lose weight now? That's an extra question you can add in, just depending on how you're going. And then you continue with your normal presentation, which is basically before and afters, showing them cellular nutrition and the different programs available. Look, if you're sitting with them, you can make them a Herbie beverage and make up a shake for them to try, and then get them started on a program. Okay, so but you want to find something that's going to fit in with their budget. And the price list I give everyone actually has all the different percentages on it. So I had someone that started on a healthy breakfast pack and a dong pie the other day, and she said, "Oh, can't I just get the wholesale price now?" I said, "Well, no, you can't." And I just said, "Look, the great thing about being a retail client, and you know, I want to make sure you love it first before you go down that track, because it's a great thing about a retail client. We have a 30-day money back guarantee, and that won't happen if you don't pay for retail." And she said, "Okay, no problems." And I said, "But if you love the products, absolutely, then there's a wholesale option available. But I'm not going to register them until I know they absolutely love the products." Okay, because I want to teach them. If I sign them up straight away and got them on wholesale, they're not going to understand the difference between retail and wholesale and the value in that. And then they're going to copy the same process, which will create a very weak business for them. I want them to have a strong business. I want them to get their people started on retail. Then when they know they love the products, then to sign them up. So make sure that you're strong on that. It's sometimes easy these days just to VIP them. You know, don't do that unless you know they're really, really strong on the products. So that there's lots of different scripts out there. This is probably the most basic and one that we've always used, that Mark Hughes used. And you want to, if you're sitting there, listening on the phone, you can write everything down. If you're face-to-face doing this to someone off a button hit, try and remember everything, and then you can write it down afterwards after you finish, but try and book a time to get them started. If you're doing it over the phone, again, you've gone over some different programs. Tell them which program you use, the Fast, Faster, Fastest, Quick Start, Advanced, Ultimate. And great, if they can't afford one of those programs, no problem. Hey, I know the Shape Up's a really good one to start on. They can then last resort, because Gary always said if you can't get them on a program, that's when you go for the trial pack. So there's lots of different techniques you can do, but some people like to start with the trial pack and they build up to it. So whatever system works for you, that's what you should be teaching your team. So before and after. So Jennifer's really big on having flip books and things like that. So these are some of the ones I've just seen recently. And, there's so many, and it doesn't matter whether it's a couple, it's a mum with twins, someone that's into running, it doesn't matter about the age group, someone that's trying to put on muscle or gain weight, someone that's into body sculpting. It doesn't really matter. There's a result that will relate to everyone. So you need to get good at collecting results and also sharing those testimonials as well of people that you know. So make sure that you continually are collecting before and after results. So Irene, how do you normally share your results when you're talking to people?
Well, when I'm talking to them face to face, I'm looking them in the eye, and we said this, Shelley, when you were over. And when you're talking and you're presenting, you can see from their eyes if they're interested or not. You can actually, it's like the shutters close down. And when that happens, I always then just say, well, look, maybe you know somebody who might be interested. I'll give you my flyer, and you can put it in the a staff room or on the board or something. I don't go any further. But when I'm telling, when I can see interest, I always tell my own story, and it's the one that I had all those years ago. And hopefully we have a new one with the Weight Loss Challenge. And then I always told, well, always, either my children's story, my grandchildren's story, or my husband's story. And I found telling Con's story, particularly with his digestive issues, that was probably one of the most effective, because a lot of people, no matter, even ballet dancers have had digestive issues. So they became more interested. I try and marry, as you said, my story, whatever story I'm telling. And I don't have a big repertoire, but I have something for everybody, you know. And I still have my flip book from when we started. And what I did then, which they don't do now, because there were people I knew, I got them to write in their own handwriting their story. So have a picture with them and have them write their story. And that way it's even more authentic for the person looking at it. But I think your strongest story is how you feel about it yourself and how you feel about your result.
Absolutely.
Have I answered your question? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Irene. And you want to be your best customer. And yes, you want to have an obvious result for you. And you don't even have to lose weight to have an obvious result. And so, yes, you can text before and after results. You can put them through Messenger. You can email them. You can print them out and post them. You can show people on a flip book or on your phone. There's so many different ways of sharing results. And that's really what we're doing. We're sharing before and afters because it gives them belief that it could work for them. So,
and one other thing, Shelley, that I do, and I do when I'm talking to people, though I must say, you know, it's been different now that where I am, but I would always put a little, when I was showing the before and afters, I would always tell them something special about each person that wasn't just about the weight loss, you know, and something that allowed people to realize she really does know this person.
yes.
And that seemed to be very effective.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Especially this day and age with, you know, social media, it just, definitely personalizes it as well. Did you have anything else to share, Lydia?
I was just going to say, exactly what Irene said. I always will try and get a photo with them, even if I don't use that photo at that particular time. When a memory comes up, you know, it's more appetizing. So they're before and after, and then, you know, you're hugging sort of thing and waving to the camera so they can see that they're your client.
Yep.
Because I think sometimes when you see a lot of other advertisements of other products, you know, and even when I do see of Herbalife, when I think, how would she know that person, you know? And I really don't. And like you say, being able to personalise it and say, Irene, my girlfriend, you know, that was 60 years old. She thought nothing was going to work the day that she sat on my veranda and said she had tried everything, you know, personalising it just like that to go, oh, okay, so she does know her, she was at her house, you know, something that you can just drop a bomb in there, you know, and get that photo, even with them before they start, you know, if they don't like photos on their own, say, look, I'll get the photo with you, you know. Sometimes that's all you can get because people don't want, you know, the before and afters. So you can get their waist up, you know, and like I said, just getting in that photo with them so people can see that your clients are doing well, because there's nothing worse when you see before and afters and you think, well, that's just come from a company page. You know, and people are just downloading that. They don't even know these people. They like to see that you're doing for business.
Definitely. And if you are using someone's result,
you've got to know them inside out.
Yeah, and I also acknowledge the person that's shared it. I go, oh, thank you for sharing this result, and then do it that way. So sometimes it's good to acknowledge the person that actually shared it if you are using a shared result too.
But you know, just looking at the photographs here, the before and afters, I'm going, well, I know them. Oh, you haven't seen them since I was in Sydney. Oh, you know, you automatically go and look and think, and you yourself feel something by seeing the people you actually know. And the ones.
Well, that's right. Yeah, and it's just like sharing something that Shelley has shared, or you know, it might be the girl up in Cairns, you know, the other girl, you know, but it's like my friend, you know, that's why when you're at events, I think it's important to go up and get photos taken with them as well, and personalise it. So if you're like me and can't sleep at night with white lies, you can say, oh, my friend, you know, because you did introduce yourself, you got to know that person over that weekend or that training, you know, and then you can share their story. Yeah.
So it's a great way of collecting.
And also, yeah, and also I think those photos are worth more if you've got people coming on board in the business. You know, it's not, you know, such and such, Shelley from Gympie, blah, 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 never met her, but yeah, she seems nice. And, you know, my friend Shelley, who do the Monday night calls with, you know,
Yeah.
I think that's more important. And when people have seen that you've got a photo with, you know, Joanna arm in arm at the soccer a few years ago, they can see that you've actually met these people and hung out with them. And it's like, well, she does know some people up the top there that are very successful.
Yep.
Giving them confidence.
Oh, thank you, Lydia. That's awesome. So keep collecting stories and also packaging your customer stories as well. So then once you've got a client, obviously we want to follow them up. So, and we always say the fortune's in the follow-up. There's a great follow-up section in the career manual. You can choose a different system. We're using your diary or a spreadsheet on the computer or a card system. Whatever works for you is the most important thing to do. And as Lydia always says, you want to do that rock star follow-up and do more than what you say you're going to do, or at least do what you say you're going to do. Look, it's okay. We're all human. Sometimes we make mistakes and things happen, and that's okay too. And always be willing to, when you've forgotten something or made a mistake or, you know, double booked, just say, oh, I'm really sorry this has happened. Can I go? Like, most people are quite happy to be flexible. Add on value. Samples work great. It's a really good way to upgrade. Lots of recognition. Look, some people don't like recognition, some people do, so make sure you do what suits that person. Some people are very quiet and shy, so try and match how you think they are and judge that, but as you go along you'll get better at that. Add them to your client support group for recipes and results. If they're not on Facebook, then you do other things, you know, like do text them, call them. I've got plenty of people not on Facebook that I still follow up and do things, and I'm always dropping stuff into them because I don't want them to miss out on the information. So you just do it the old-fashioned way. Assume that they will reorder. Don't think, oh, are they going to reorder? Of course they're going to reorder. They're feeling fantastic. Why wouldn't they? Okay, you can talk about some of the other products as well, and when to offer that VIP again when you know that they love the products. If you're not sure they like it, offering the VIP is not going to solve any problems that they might be going through. You need to make sure they love the shake, they're taking their tabbies, they're getting a result. And you'll know anyway, and you're really just looking for people like you that love the products like you, that want to take them forever because they feel fantastic. You're looking for people like you, and they're out there. They just don't know that you exist yet most of the time. Okay, so find your follow-up system. So Lydia, what's your follow-up system?
So on a Wednesday, I do all my calls on a Wednesday. So I start most of the time around 7. For the people that want extra accountability, so on their way to work or on their way to the gym, they call in at 7 o'clock, get weighed and measured. So I have like 5 of those guys, so they're personal ones. If I have a little bit more time around like my 9 o'clock ones, I'll make them a Herbie tea. You know, if they've been away on holidays, you know, sort of thing, let's get this, and just reevaluate goals and see where we slipped up and reset. So for myself personally, I'm sort of talking school terms and working towards goals to Easter for the 10-week block. So yeah, I just have a diary. So, you know, you 3 guys, they would go into my diary. And obviously I've got a thick, you know, just a thick binder book. And I have the charts on there, you know, the original charts, and I staple onto the back of them if they've gone past, you know, that I think it's the first 15 weeks. So I staple that to there. If I've got them as a first client and they're keen to do a Tanita Scales, I write that on the back of that very first chart as well, and then do that. I only sort of promote to do that every 5 or 10 kilos. Otherwise, people want to come back every single week and do a Tanita Scale reading, which is, you know, it's pointless if it's, you know, 2 or 3 or 500 grams. So I just sort of say when we've lost the, you know, these are the people that I do over the phone. So yes, I call everybody every single week. For the ones that I know are away, I text and keep an eye on them. You know, but it's just personalising it, knowing that Shelley was away on Saturday, Sunday, where then I've got in my diary on Monday, text Shelley, you know, 7 o'clock, you're back on board, love, how was your weekend? Time to easy on, easy off. So I just sort of personalise as much as I can. Yeah, so like I said, I just have a diary, and I, you know, from Wednesday to Wednesday, I just write, you know, say tomorrow's Wednesday, I'll move those 19 people across to following Wednesday and just tick them off as I go, and just on a binder folder.
Yep.
That's sort of my system. Everybody's in that book. all my relevant ones. So if anything happens for the day, or if I'm on holidays myself, I just take that binder and I've got all the information that I need.
Excellent. That's great. I like that system. What about you, Irene? What do you do?
Well, when I started, I didn't have a clue what to do, and so I was suggested that I do the 1 to 31 little, every day. And so I still do that system, though I have a little bit changed it. I have certain people who've just started. I'll have them. I have a week. That's it. So that's Friday. And then during the week, I have people in that I will call on Friday as well, or send a text. But the new people I keep, 3 days, and I keep it like that. And I find that even taking it with me, it's quite easy. It's less bulk. It's not any more bulky than having a big diary or anything like that. But I do diarize as well certain things. And but I find I tried to do it on the computer, and it just didn't work for me. Maybe I'll get better as I go on with my coach teaching me how to do things. But at the moment, I'm very old-fashioned, and it's working. And I think that, an old system, if it works, is as good as a new system if you don't work it.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So do what works and what feels right for you. So if you're right into technology, great. And if you're not, you just want to do it on card system or with a diary or that 31 days or a file with, an A to Z file, whatever it is that works for you, just as long as you're doing it. So these are some of the things that you, with follow-up, that sometimes people might find challenging. So one is getting reorders. So if you find people aren't reordering, make sure that you assume that they're going to reorder. Ask them if they want to try a different flavour, and just assume, and don't just do it when they've almost run out. So if you've got to send them because they don't live near you, make sure on day 21 saying, hey, by the way, your product's probably going to run out in a few days, or even whatever day you've picked that you can track how long it's going to take, and remind them. I know that you're going to run out next week. Let's get your next program organised, because you're doing so fantastic, and I know you love it so much that you'll just want to keep going. So, and again, if they know they love the product, you might go, hey, did you think about doing that VIP option? Yeah, if they're not ready, not a problem. Asking for referrals. Once they're getting a positive result, that's when you can ask, hey, do you know anyone else that would like to get great results like you? And just keep asking. You can even do like a little card or something that you can hand them as well that promotes it. So do it whatever way feels right for you. But if you feel it's a verbal thing, great. If it's something you can have printed out and put in the information or send to them, hey, you're doing fantastic. And by the way, we love referrals. Upgrading onto other products, letting them know that there's a skin. I know someone just asked me about the skin that came last week, Helen. So she's been using all the nutrition and adding and targeted products. She said, oh, I've always used this skin product, but I'm really thinking about using the Herbalife skin. So can you have a chat to me about it? Then blah, blah, blah. And I said, yep, no problems. Next time you come, we'll sit down and have a chat. So letting them know that there's aloe products, and you're trying to get them to swap whatever they're normally using in their house. Like if they've got body wash, get them on the aloe body wash, and they can use it like Irene had at her house on Saturday, the hand pump. The soap pump had aloe body wash in it. We had aloe gel for the girls when they rub their skin off on the swimming pool.
The skincare is all there. What I had to do, and I remember to do was, when we moved in, I put it all in the guest bathroom, and I left it. And then, of course, when my daughters don't come up all the time because they use all the skincare. So one thing I've learned is I need to rotate it every now and then. So sometimes I go in and take it for myself, replace it with new. So, but yes, it makes sense to me that why would I pay money to somebody else when I can shop in my own shop, And the products are amazing. So why would I buy something that might not be as amazing, but I can have amazing already? So yes, so it even is our hand washing in the kitchen, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. And it's
exactly,
so great.
with the dishwasher, just don't put too much in, because then it's like very sudsy on the floor.
I don't. I know. My grandson, and he goes through a quarter of a bottle of body wash when he's in the shower. It's so bad. The soap comes out through the the hole in the floor in the bathroom. Yeah, so
I know Ross was saying, because he spoke to Con, and Con told him about the shaving thing, so he started doing that. So now he doesn't use as many razors or shaving cream, so he actually saves money on razors and shaving cream by using the cleanser to shave with. So, and it's a better shave. And so that was from Con talking to him.
Yeah. And Shelley, at Christmas time, we were down in Sydney, but my first cousin that I know really well, arrived at Perigian, and I just wrapped up the serum as a little present. I wasn't going to be there. And when we caught up afterwards, the first thing she said to me is, "Oh," she said, "that skincare you gave me is absolutely fantastic." So, it was interesting. I didn't say anything. I just gave something because she'll go back to Ireland anyway. So I have to talk with her now.
Yeah, we're giving gifts as referrals, like an aloe body wash or aloe gel, something they're not already using, and they'll often keep reordering it then too. So
that is true. Yeah.
That's excellent. So that's just some tips on getting your people onto other products, asking referrals, assuming that reorder. These are some of the follow-up systems we're talking about. So I just Googled a few, and I liked this one, which is one of the old Herbalife ones that said, time to try a different flavored shake, or time to reorder your products. I love this because it's already preempting them onto it. So if they're doing their own results, they're sort of things you could add onto your own charts if you wanted to, just to get the ball rolling and plant that seed if you felt like that was helping. So I'm keeping an eye on the time. I know we're a little bit over, so I'm going to run through these fairly quickly. So this is the retail order pad that you get in your business pack, but you can also order them, not very much, for $25, and they're double copied. They're pink and a white copy, so the white copy on the top goes to the client, and you keep the pink copy and basically all their details, what they've ordered, and so that you've got that there. So one, that's if you ever have to do a refund, and I think in my whole 27 years I've done 2 or 3 refunds. Like, how many refunds have you ever done, Irene?
I think not many.
No.
Not many. I know one person did a refund, and he was so embarrassed, and I gave him his money, and I thought there's something about this. What happened was he was going back to India, and when he came back, he bought the products again.
That's okay. So look, it doesn't happen very often, but if it does, it's not the end of the world. And Herbalife's great. You just send them the empty containers back, or the labels, and they just give you a brand new product in its place. You give the money back to the customer, so no one misses out. So it's a really fantastic policy that's been running now for 38 years. And so it's a great way of keeping track of your business, because you can work out your profit, you can work out the volume points, and it's a good one to keep with your gauges, which is this keep 20 gauge sheet. You don't have to use this one in particular, but it's a good one to use to write, monthly. Look, and you might not want to have 20 clients. That's fine. Just do 5. Get 5, keep 5. Whatever it is for you, you might want 50. So whatever your goal is, you can do that. And then it's a great way of tracking everything. And I know we've seen Marcel and Lydia's versions of these, which look like crazy circles everywhere, but it's really cool because you can see how the referrals go, and it just starts growing from there. So you've always put your order as well, so you're leading by example, and any clients. And if you think, you've got someone you think you would love them to be a client, or they're interested, put their name in, because sometimes it's just planting that seed and putting that energy out into the universe. And it's like when sometimes you think of someone and then they call, or you run into them. So, don't be afraid to do a little bit of planning and strategy and put people's names in there. You never know what will happen. So you have one for each month, and it's a great way to keep track of your business. There's also these sort of ones which sometimes I find hard to do, but I've done 90-day plans before. I've used these sort of gauge sheets. So basically a retail weekly plan is what you plan to do. So Fit Club, which is an event, ads and newspapers, Facebook, Meetup, flyers, internet leads, weight loss challenge, car and button. So you write down what you say you're going to do. Then you write what you actually did. Then you put how many calls you got from each method. And then down here you write your retail sales and everything like that. So it's a good one if you like that kind of Excel spreadsheet. I do have a few. I'm not really good with Excel spreadsheets, but when I've had to do like a 90-day plan activity group where everyone had to report each week, we had to fill them out. So they're the sort of ones you can do as well. And they actually, I guess the good thing about Excel is it adds everything up for you. So that's one you could try if you wanted to. So that was basically our retail training. So I just thought, just before we finish, Lydia, what was the last client that you got? Where did they come from?
From school. So yeah, just sort of, I'd say it would be centre of influence. She's known me for, I got at a fit club here about 3 years ago when I was running that. Yeah, and then just before school broke up, she got a trial pack. Yeah, and she just said it was the wrong timing. So yeah, finished the trial pack and has gotten started on a full program.
Excellent. Great, thank you. Irene, where did your last customer come from?
She came from the internet, actually, and she was a lead that I received. And she not only bought, but she's reordered, and it wasn't even the month, or like the end of the month. Yeah, so that was my last one. And she ordered a quick start.
Awesome. That's cool. So internet. Lindy, where did your last client come from?
Mine was from the boys' augmentative speech therapist. She's has celiac disease, so she came in and went, each time I see you looking better, so I really like that. Yeah. But she's being overseas, so she just, well, the very first time she said, I just want the Formula One Select, so I did that. And then last time she said, oh, I suppose I better take two. So she's hooked on it. So she said she, prior to being a speechy, she was a PT trainer. So when she comes back, she'll talk to me in March just about fit clubs and ways to generate people into going into clubs, which is outside my comfort zone. So why not?
Excellent. That's cool. So centre of influence. My last client came from Facebook. I think she showed interest in the goal setting workshop but couldn't come, but she's involved in businesses in Gympie, new to the area. Obviously we'd become friends on Facebook and she'd liked a few things, and then she personal messaged me and said, oh look, I've gained some weight over going through menopause. I want to lose 10 kilos. And I invited her in for an evaluation, and we sat and had a chat. And then we took a bit longer, so she had to come back the next day, and she started on the healthy breakfast pack and Dong Quai. And I spoke to her for a day one on Friday. She's doing fantastic, loving it. Touched base with her on the weekend, and she said, no need to call, I'm doing great, I'm having fun. Might have had a little bit too much wine on the weekend, but doesn't matter. I said, that's cool, moderation's the key. Enjoying the journey is the key. And we're going to catch up this week for her results. So that was really cool. So that's, so clients can come from everywhere. So keep your ears open, your eyes open, and really listen to what people are saying. Okay, and find that Herbalife solution. And because we all love Herbalife so much, why wouldn't we want to get people on them? We want everyone to feel as great as we do.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what's next? Of course, you've got your own local events. Remember, if you haven't got an event in your area, create one. It doesn't even have to, it could even be a Zoom event or anything, you know, giving some sort of value. The more value you give, the more you get back. Your local STSs and kickoffs that are happening around Australia and overseas. Obviously, we've got the Adelaide Spectacular coming up in February. Sorry about the white on white. I hope you can read this. So that's come out really quickly. So it's open to all members. So keep promoting it. You just might have someone that just changes their mind, decides to go. But get them organised with that. There's still plenty of cheap flights out there. I've had a look today. Hong Kong Extravaganza is June 2019. So a bit excited about this one. I've never been to Hong Kong before. So just organised mum to come and have the girls for the few days that are going to be over there. So that's really cool.
Oh, Hong Kong's great. Good fun.
Yes. So there's lots of different things. And, you just choose whatever events that you feel that you can do. Of course, this is open to all supervisors. So if there was ever, a reason to get supervisor or help your team get to supervisor, this is it, so that they can attend those sort of things. Just remember with the Spectacular, there's lots of different things. I did post all the updates, but as more things come through, I'll put them on Challenge Yourself Daily. And was there anything that I've missed that people would like to add that's coming up before we wrap up?
No.
Cool.
Next Monday, our next call?
Yes, so next Monday is our next call. I thought what we would do is I know we covered a little bit of follow-up, but we'll get more stuck into follow-up, because obviously once someone's got a customer, they need to know how to go through that process. So I will get is to share how you do your follow-up as well. Definitely some of the questions and objections that come up, because this is probably the biggest thing. It's great when you've got the perfect client, but if you get a client that has a few stumbling blocks or a few challenges and you don't know how to handle it, it's probably one of the most important things. So I think we'll run through a little bit of that as well and just get into the nitty-gritty of follow-up, and have that, because it's something that your team really need to learn. And I know what I was like when I first started, I had no idea what to say to someone that was having a problem. I was just like, you know, I couldn't even respond to them. It was like the end of the world, but it's not. And we do the marquees, no problem. And having confidence in yourself, in the products, and all of us working together to back each other up, that's what helps too. So we'll do follow-up, and then the week after we'll be recruiting. Okay, which I love recruiting as well. That's really good. So thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Irene. Thank you, Lindy.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you sharing. And as usual, even in the comments section of the team call, if there's something you feel that you want to share, like a flyer that's working, that's retail, or anything, little tips, just add it in so that it's all in the same post, and just add as much value into that as you possibly can, because sharing from your personal experience just helps everybody.
Okay, well, I won't be around next Monday for obvious reasons. I'll be in a plane somewhere to Bali. I'll be getting into that pool and swimming and having a great time. But the following week I might get on the call to see how I go.
Yeah. Yes. Well, obviously, I think I'll be back. I don't think there's any issues with me getting back from Spectacular. I should be back by then. So, but I'll communicate with all of you. So thank you for your commitment to the cause and always interacting. I really do appreciate all of your input. It's fantastic. And I'll get this converted now and put the recording out. So make sure you share it with all your team.
Thank you so much, Shelley.
Shelley, you always do a good job, love.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.